Hello, everyone. We are back after a short break. You are watching Conversations with Jennylyn, and tonight I'm going to put this under the umbrella of the Jenifliks series, although we are not going to be sharing the same type of material that we've been sharing in that particular series. Instead, tonight we have a different show for you, and this will be mostly Melanie Erik sharing with you what we have been encouraged to share. If you've been paying attention, you may have seen certain anomalies, is what they're being called, appearing in the sky. And I know that we've been seeing a lot in the sky, I would say between November and now, and we've been told that they were drones. Those I'm not sure about, but what anyone who had seen what appeared in the sky in Florida and different parts of the world on Saturday night, those were not. And that's why tonight we were asked to come on this show so we can bring you clarification on the difference. And I will welcome Melanie Erik, as I always do. Welcome, Erik.
Hello, Jenifliks.
Well, and Mel, welcome back.
Thank you. Hi there, everyone. Hi there, Jennylyn.
I've really missed doing this with the two of you, but we all needed a break. Everyone's life has been so busy, and this is very late on Tuesday night, so I'm really grateful that we were all able to afford the time to do this. A lot of people I work with follow my series, and they always have questions. So they were wondering why we hadn't done a segment for the last 2 weeks. And I just explained that we've all been busy, but I promised tonight, upon request, to bring you and Erik on to give them some clarification on what we've seen, those of us who have in the sky. And they're wondering why mainstream media has not been covering it. And that I'm not quite sure, although I have some ideas. I'm probably not going to go there, but I want you all to know I've been calling them our peeps, as in our guys from the sky, from the light. And so, Mel, I don't know if you want to start, because you've been bringing through messages since they have appeared, pretty much confirming that it was our crew. I don't know what name to call them, but they were our light warriors that were in the sky on Saturday night.
Well, I guess the best way to begin is with, looking back at the messages that I've been channeling for my TikTok and YouTube account, wherein the galactics have indicated, not only the galactics, but the angels too, that there are going to be a revelation. The revelation is coming, okay? And it was given to me many different times. And even though at times it appeared as though it was imminent, some things have to be taken into account. And as you know, Erik and I have mentioned before, a lot of stuff happens, everything happens in the ethereal, in the spiritual first, before it ever makes it into the physical. So there's some
By the way, I was knocked off.
right. Yeah, I know.
For those of you watching this show, we want you to know that someone or someones have been trying to prevent us doing this segment, which means we are bringing you information you need, because we've been doing so many shows before and we've never had this happen. I've been kicked off at least 4 times. Well, whoever's behind this, you can kick us off 100 times. We are doing this. Okay, Mel, I don't know where you got cut off.
Yeah.
Remember freezing.
Right. I'm trying to remember. I think I was just speaking of, all of the indications of that we were never told an exact date per se as to when this would happen, right? The big revelation. Nonetheless, they've always made sure and told us to be ready, that they're coming. And how important it is and what a sensitive subject this is, because for this very reason, and this is what I'm going to touch on right now, is if you can imagine how many people still on the planet don't believe in extraterrestrial existence, right? So can you imagine if otherworldly beings, extraterrestrials, if you so will, star beings, make themselves known all of a sudden by bringing in a huge mothership? Because this is another thing that I wanted to touch on. We're not talking little sightings here and there that people have had, themselves over the years and decades, Carl. We're talking a massive mothership, multiple motherships, football size length and longer, or bigger, all of a sudden coming through the clouds and hovering over a city or an area or over the water, wherever they choose to do. Okay, can you imagine the amount of fear this would, give so many people who don't know about this or who don't believe in otherworldly existence? Now, here's the thing. Here's what I want to say to this, and this is kind of why we're on here today, is, this is part of why I channel these messages on my TikTok and YouTube channel, is that they were all meant to sort of prepare people for something. Okay, we don't know exactly what this looks like, but we are, being prepared for something, and so as to not have as much fear come through when it actually happens, because in this climate, in this higher consciousness that we're all finding ourselves in, a big shift of fear, would not benefit the collective, right? So we want to do our part by making the show and by, everyone else that's been involved in this, to sort of let people know that when they do make themselves known, they're not going to be, foes. They're going to be friendly. Now, I will pick up on this as well before I give it over to Erik, maybe to continue, is that there are those, and this is what I've been told, again, in channeled information. So I'm going to relay to you by paraphrasing what I've been told in the channeled information. Is part of the reason for the delay is that those who do not wish for these extraterrestrial beings, these star beings, to come in and show themselves, they're going to try to prevent this from happening. And if they can't prevent this from happening, which they can't really anymore, I don't believe, now the issue is that potentially they would want to do something. And this is going to sound strange, but imagine this scenario, that potentially there's this big mothership of a extraterrestrial, collective coming in, or otherworldly beings showing themselves. And the next thing you know, there's something happening on our planet, a catastrophe of some sort, that then would be blamed onto these otherworldly beings who have not done anything. But this is kind of you see where I'm going with this. This is why there's been a delay in them actually coming through and coming forward, because they do not want this to happen and they have to tie loose ends. Okay, so that this does not happen. Because let's face it, how many people have or would believe that, right? How many people would believe in an otherworldly attack, if you so will? And how many people would, that's not what we want. So nonetheless, that is what I want to say to this right now. So I'm going to hand it over to Erik. What do you have to say, Buzz? What do you know?
Before you
So
come
I'm
on,
gonna just kind of I'm gonna just kind of add to what you said, Mel, in kind of my own way. So let's think about it in this way. Let's say the extraterrestrials tomorrow decide to show themselves tomorrow, and they walk into O Block in Chicago. That's not going to work out. You're not going to be able to shock people, and especially in neighborhoods that are they basically live in their own neighborhood war zones. They're going to see a threat or see a challenge or something that's not supposed to be there. So you can't I know what's out there and I know who it is. And they're not here for that purpose. They're not coming to cause conflict. They're coming to help us heal and learn and progress through our being. So they're going to wait until the time is right. However, they are positioned to do that. So I think they think they're close. But like what Mel said, there's a few loose ends they have to clean up. And like what we've been going through the Jennylyn show. And I think one of the steps that they've taken is, and I don't know, I was thinking about this today, that we may have inadvertently caused this to happen. Do you guys remember when we went to the pyramids?
yep.
And we told the tribal warriors to leave and go back to their tribe. Well, now ground penetrating radar shows up and has discovered what's underneath them. So I think we took the protection away from that energy source there that we were talking about, and now they've been able to really look at it where they couldn't do it before. We've had ground penetrating radar for a long time.
Boy, we have done a lot of groundwork that is seeming to help. That's awesome.
Right, but now we know they've been able to confirm that it is an energy source that has many uses, which we already know that because we were there, and so there's that. I think that's one way for them to kind of take a step forward and say, here's another fruit for thought that you guys need to wrap your heads around. So what that does is, this is a conflict, which this is number 2 problem that they have, that there is a religion factor. So you're not going to be able to show up as extraterrestrials to the Middle East where there's all these devout Muslims. They are not going to accept what they're seeing because of their devout faith in the Quran. So this is going to be a problem for them in their faith, and they're going to want to eradicate it. Same thing with the Catholics. The Catholics will not admit that there's outer worldly beings. The Pope will not say it. It's either evil or good. And so I think we have a real religion issue factor that they're looking at too. How do they soften up the masses of these religions so that way we can come in and achieve our peaceful goals? So those are some factors that I know that they're considering that are kind of standing in the way of them of just walking out and revealing themselves. I believe that they're going to go to the world leaders first. I think that's why the one mothership has been seen on sonar off and on off the coast of Daytona Beach. I think maybe they're trying to stay close to Mar-a-Lago. They can't just go off the coast of Washington D.C. because there's too much going on there. So they're off the coast of Florida, I think, to stay close to our president. So it'll be interesting to see how this all occurs, but I do think we're close to something major happening. I just think they need to throw a few more manufactured events out there to get us to think a little bit further down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
And so anybody watching, I am literally sitting with my arms, my palms, facing my computer, blocking the energy that's coming in, that's been freezing this computer as soon as I move my hands. So, for anybody thinking we are out there, you should really wonder why we have to do this. How many segments have we done? I've never had to do this. So clearly, we are bringing something that is meant to be kept as a secret. As Erik and Mel are speaking, my heart hurts when I realize how the entire universe has been herded and brainwashed to where now the reason that they can't just come in and bring peace here is because the same people they're coming in to protect are not going to be able to receive them because of how much lies and misinformation we've been groomed with from childhood. Anyway, Mel, back over to you because right now I'm just holding my hands to keep the computer from crashing.
Sounds good. Picking up on what Erik said, this is actually a good way. He's right there. They're gonna throw us some more things into the mix as to desensitize and as to make people a little bit get people used to the existence or the potential of something that they cannot explain, which is why for any of your viewers who have seen social media lately, there have been these sightings of these this bluish, which looks like a portal, or this this swirl in the skies off of a good part of Europe and even Australia, I think, and Russia. Okay, so those are the types of things, and I just channeled literally a message this morning from Archangel Metatron, who wanted to set the record straight and said that don't be fooled by those who tell you this is something else. These things are indeed, otherworldly. So that is how he put it. So this is one of those things that, Erik was referring to, that we're going to be given more and more. You're going to be seeing more and more things in the skies so as to desensitize the public and those who really have not yet understand, or those who do not yet understand or have no idea that this exists, so that when they do show up, it's not going to be so from 0 to 100. It's going to be like more slowly. That's kind of what's happening right now, and it's very fascinating and interesting how we see these things. And then the channel messages, not only for myself, but other creators on social media, are sort of correlating that. And it is, they're confirming and validating that. So this is really, really fascinating. And I mean, if it was up to me, they could be coming tomorrow or today for all I care, and I'm sure you too as well. But that's just not possible in the grand scheme of things. Not everybody is so accepting as Erik said. The issue of religion is a real big issue, and it's how do I put this? There's nothing wrong with religion, but it's been when someone has been sort of conditioned to be so closed-minded that they're not even willing to accept or understand that there's something different, that something different could be out there, or something different exists, or be open to potentially a different perspective. That causes a problem. That's why we in the spiritual community, like myself now, I can't speak for everybody else, we don't see religion, and I don't want to offend anyone, as beneficial. Welcome back.
I was completely knocked off. Listen,
Yes.
there's someone here. I'm freezing cold. I'm hoping it's one of the Egyptian gods. Is there someone here? Someone is in the room with me, and I don't know if that's what's freezing the computer.
It wouldn't be Egyptian. They're hot. Just-
Okay, so, but one of them you said when I feel cold, it's him.
that's well, yeah, the a Norse god, Thor.
Is he here?
Cold.
Because
I don't
someone
know.
is here. Oh my God. I've never had this happen ever. Uh, whoever is here, I'm hoping they can help us to keep the room from happening. I am so sorry, guys.
There is an Anunnaki.
In here,
Yes.
helping or interfering?
Yes, I think he just came. I think he came. Do you see him? He's standing on behind Jennylyn's right side, like on behind her right side. Not from when we look at her, but behind her right side.
But is he here to help or is he doing this?
Yeah, he's standing more in a thing position. Like he's, yeah.
Helping or not
Okay,
helping?
yes. I don't know if he's helping, but he's kind of like standing in a position of that, just like standing guard
I
type
was
deal.
bone
Stand-
chilling.
Yeah, I don't know if that's him, but I see a good image of an Anunnaki, so I don't know. He's not attacking you. Mm-mm. Very interesting. You're going to be doing a lot of editing.
No, I'm leaving it. I want people to see.
All right,
How
don't edit.
much? Huh?
He said, don't edit then.
No, I want people to see how much resistance this video is getting. It will work against what they're trying to do. People are going to be like, yeah, they have to be telling the truth. I'm not taking out the Anunnakis here. Thank you.
No,
Please,
there is an
please help
Anunnaki.
me.
Yes, there's most definitely an Anunnaki standing there. Mhm.
Please help us by blocking the interference. Please, you're welcome.
And it's very interesting that an Anunnaki has chosen to show up knowing that I will identify the Anunnaki. Okay.
They're making a statement.
Because they're making a statement. I
Yes.
think with this, they're making a statement right now.
Yes. Yes. That's it. When you said it, that's what I heard. They're here to make a statement.
Yeah.
You are welcome. Please help me to block the interference. Okay. So Eric, Mel, were you finished? I don't even.
Yeah, I think I was almost finished. I was just talking on the part of religion, and it was going in direction that may I don't want to offend anyone with this, but religion, when you're so when you believe something, or you only believe something and you don't leave room for something new, then that to me is a problem. Okay. And that's a challenge. That doesn't serve you in any shape or form. So I just want those who are in the religious community to just have an open mind. Okay. You don't have to abandon your religious beliefs fully. You just have to kind of be open to the possibility that there is extraterrestrial life out there, and that there are other beings in this great universe who actually have been communicating with us on this planet, and are actually will make themselves known. So that's all I will say to this. Okay, this is kind of like, this is important for people to be more open, even just a little bit. Leave the door open. That's all.
And based on what I've learned from my studies, all those telling you it doesn't exist are aware that they exist and actually work with them. Okay, Eric.
So to touch on what Mel just said, I know we just keep kind of just jumping back and forth on each other, but maybe to simplify what she said. So when it comes to religion, and if you have a devout faith and you are unwavering, so I'm going to tell you this. It's going to look like that things have massively changed, that what you think is true may not be true. But when you wait this out and play it out, you will find that it is what you previously knew to be true is still going to be true. There's just other factors that we have misinterpreted for a few thousand years that we will find that the end game of your faith is still going to be intact. So there.
Great explanation. Good one.
So
yeah, I mean, it goes hand in hand with what's going on. It doesn't change anything. There's just other levels of consciousness that that were left in parables for a reason.
And just so you guys know, last week, I think it was Tuesday, Mel got a countdown again. Like we've shared a segment where we were given a countdown. And they started by telling Mel 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they said 3. 3, 2, 1. And what they were trying to tell us is the day she was given the countdown, that day was counting as one of the 4 days. And immediately I calculated it in my head and I said, something is going to happen on Saturday. Saturday morning, I woke up and I was instructed to do a 3-way call with Erik and Mel, which we did. And Erik was taken to do a certain operation, which I don't know we can share, so we won't, because some things we can't share. But all day Saturday, I was like, oh, come on, you keep hanging us. You got us on this cliffhanger. Throw us a bone, people are going to think we're nuts. And then I was so tired, unusually tired. I fell asleep at 7:30. Woke up at 10:30 and then went to TikTok and I could see people all over just freaking out. And I thought Mel and Erik were asleep. I was texting them, they came. I was jumping up and down my house, celebrating by myself that they had made an appearance. And so, there's so many things being reported. I know that most people watching don't know what to believe. But I would encourage you to trust us. Not because we think we're a big deal, but because we are bringing you the truth. And so, it's difficult because our entire lives we've been told that there's no such thing. And it was deliberate. And hopefully, when it all unfolds, you will be able to connect the dots. Mel, Erik, who wants to add to any of this?
Well, I want to add a historical fact that I was just made aware not too long ago that that in the movie E.T., that E.T., the reason why he has so many powers, if you go back and watch the Star Wars with Darth Maul in it, the ETs are part of the Jedi Council. If you watch the movie, there's a little part in there where there's a bunch of ETs in there, like the actual ET character is. So he's a Jedi. I didn't know it until just recently, so it makes sense why he has so many great powers.
And we've been told over and over that powers that be, those that run the universe, has to tell us what they are doing because it's a universal law. And therefore, they have been shoving it in our faces in the movies. Except I've never liked those movies, so I never really watched them. But yes, so a lot of what is happening now, they've been showing to us in movies.
Right.
Mel,
Star Wars is actually kind of close, like how political things are in the extraterrestrial realms. It's very political. There are structures and ways of doing things, and and there's rules and councils and courts. It's all just like Star Wars, kind of. Just it's eerily, it's weird how accurate. Like when you actually go into the other dimensions and you look at things and you're like, wait, I've already seen this movie. Let me go back and look. This is Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's so funny today. I was thinking that. I'm like, do you think the way the world is set up, they have taken the bits and pieces from them? Because I am told those that are running the world are very aware of what is happening in the spiritual world. And if you look, the systems that we are have been living under have been slightly tweaked to please those who have set it up, but it resembles very much
Right.
what we are learning about the spiritual realm.
I mean, I think they have used Hollywood to kind of desensitize us to the thoughts of aliens. You look at like the movies like Men in Black, and then a few years later, in Trump's first term, he created Space Force. And at first, I was like, "What? This is a giant waste of money." But then when Biden took over in his term as president, I thought, okay, well, he's getting rid of all Trump's policies. He's going to get rid of Space Force. Well, that was one of the things Trump did that Biden didn't touch. So that was kind of like an eye opener to me that, hey, there's more to this. Because if it was nonsense, Biden would have cut that, and he didn't. He left it there, and he actually gave more money to it. So it tells me, why have a space military? And now India has a space military. Pakistan has a space military. Everybody's starting to get their own like space force. So I think the writing's on the wall a little bit. I think the clues have been in front of our face this whole time, and we've just kind of gone on with our lives and just moved on to the next headline. It's easy to do.
Mel, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, well, I can't really speak from that perspective, but I want to piggyback on what Erik said again. How the otherworldly beings, and I call them otherworldly, and they're really extraterrestrial. I just use that general term. I have gotten used to that, is how they really do have a structure, and we've been saying this in the other segments that we've been doing, that we have really been working with these otherworldly beings in the spiritual realm. And, there are those who have a physical form and those who are just have a non-physical form. And clearly we have been working with those in non-physical form for some time. And they really do have a structure. They have a hierarchy, to some extent. They have commanders. I mean, you really do watch shows or movies sometimes and you think, wow, now that you've worked, in this sort of thing, you think that really looks kind of like that. But then on the flip side, I do find that a lot of the Hollywood movies are geared towards presenting the otherworldly beings as aggressive and not kind to the human collective. And I think this is also sort of a programming. So this is kind of, already, asking people to automatically assume that when something that is not of this planet or this earth is going to be not friendly. There are many kinds, right? Independence Day, and you can just keep on going. Yeah. And even though that kind of movie sells, I think there was some sort of intention behind it, right? And because they know, or they don't want these otherworldly beings to be friendly, because you know what that means? They're high vibrational. They have a higher consciousness. And we are, we're ascending. This humanity is ascending, at least many people are, and they're going to be helping us throughout this process. They're going to be helping us in this, expansion process. So why would you want to embrace otherworldly beings if you don't want the human collective to expand in consciousness, right? You're going to try to do everything possible to prevent that, right? To not have them or to cause fear and to paint a false picture. And that's kind of the back and forth that's going on now. But at the end of the day, okay, I want to tell everyone there is no way this is not going to happen, okay? Because it is, and this is again from a channel information, this is not my personal opinion, this is channel information that I received before. Revelation of extraterrestrial life in a grandiose form is part of the ascension process. It cannot happen without that. We as a human collective cannot ascend without thinking we're alone in the universe or in this, this cannot happen. So it must happen, and it will happen as such. So I urge everyone who's really thinking, oh no, that doesn't exist, to really, really, just allow that to sink in, because it will. Okay, it's part of it. It cannot not happen. So now when is a different story, but it will happen in our lifetime, and it will happen
soon.
Sooner. I'm getting sooner than you think. So there you go.
And while Mel was speaking, this occurred to me. Yes, Hollywood does make extraterrestrial life sound scary because they don't want us to be open to them when they come. That's what I was just told by my higher self. And also, they are evil, scary, extraterrestrial. But those are the ones that I almost said the wrong thing, then I would have had to edit. But those are not the ones coming through us. The ones that are coming through us are the archangels and all that we know, that some of you religious people that are struggling with this, that you pray to. I'm sorry, but it's true. We work with Archangel Michael, Metatron. We work with all of the spiritual light beings only. So anything that Mel, Eric, and I are sharing with you is coming from the higher dimensions of light and love. And this planet is a disaster. And they are coming to help to restore some order here on the planet and to take it away from the darkness that it has become, because we have to have balance on the planet. And I don't know where that came from. That was not me. Someone just told me to say that. Eric, correct me if I'm wrong.
It was Elvis that told you to say that. Kidding. It wasn't. He's still alive.
Oh my God, Eric. What would we do without you? Guys, when we are on these missions, and they're pretty serious, this is the kind of thing that Eric says to us, and Mel and I are in stitches, because he is so funny, and you need humor when you're dealing with this, because it's not really funny, some of what we have to deal with, especially me. So, Eric, did you want to add anything? I don't want to make this too long and drawn out, but I want to make sure we cover all the bases so that people watching this will have, when the time comes, will know not to be afraid.
I think Mel gave some really good explanations about, what's happening and what to expect, and, and what I've seen and what you've experienced, Jennylyn. I think we've done a pretty good job of saying, hey, be prepared. Don't panic. It's not a panic situation. And just accept the help that's coming. It's not going to be a bad thing. It's not going to be a negative thing. It can be a negative thing if humanity does what humanity usually does. We can't be destroyers at this moment. We have to be accepting of the help. And it's gonna be for the betterment of our species.
Mel, did you want to add anything before we wrap?
Well, the grand revelation with the big mothership or whatever it is, ships per se, is one thing. But I want to remind everyone, that those otherworldly beings we're talking about have been and are already among us too.
Right.
We just can't see them. We just don't know. And we're talking in physical form. You might have stood next to them in line at the grocery store. You might have, ran into them at an event, and you don't know that. Okay. They are already here. And I'm not referring to star seeds or those types of, individuals who have a soul origin from another, star system. No, I'm talking about full-blown extraterrestrial beings who are currently in physical form, walking amongst us, keeping an eye on things. And some of these extraterrestrial beings are holding some powerful position, among other things. Okay. Or are in influential positions. Let's put it that way. Okay. Not all, but there are. So, yeah.
And there are thousands of crafts outside of our atmosphere just waiting. Thousands. I've seen them. So they've been here. They're here. They've been here. And some of the reptilian ones that are here have been kind of doing their thing, and now we've got another set coming in that I think a lot of people are not familiar with. But I assure you that they're going to reset the balance that we need here. They know how to do it. They have the capabilities of doing it, and we just have to accept that they're here for a positive reason, and we're all going to get that final sigh of relief when they're done.
And I can't wait. And I can tell you guys, I am not afraid. I cannot wait for them to get here. In fact, they come to me often and help me when damage is done to me by those who want you to believe they don't exist. They've come quite a few times when I was under attack. Mel said, I'm being pushed back. And they've come in and cleared my vessel. And there were a few times when snakes were put to attack me, and they actually administered anti-venom. So, guys, they are our peeps. They are here to make the planet a better place for all of us. So please do not fear. And this is why we did this segment tonight. We don't know when it's happening, but it is inevitable. And be prepared when it comes to just go with it and do your best in the situation, because we don't know what form it's going to take when they come. And I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say about this? Anything that's popped in your head before we say goodbye? Any messages from your higher selves, from the angels that they want to leave for them?
I'm getting a channel, and I'm supposed to say, watch the East Coast.
Watch the East Coast?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, where on the East Coast? I don't know, but that leaves the whole big East Coast, right? But yes.
Okay, Eric, did you get anything to leave from your guys?
They said, Luke, I'm your father. They said.
Oh my God. Anyway, guys, it's good to be back. Thank you so much for not giving up on us, and please take what we're saying and use it to the best of your ability when the time comes, because we don't make this stuff up. You've seen all my shows, and never were we attacked like we were tonight. And I believe the reason we were able to complete the show without any more attacks is I have protection back here who is helping us to complete the segment. So we will be back soon, whenever we need to come back to bring you any more updates. And thank you for continuing to watch us. Bye! My goodness, is the Anunnaki still here?